My name doesn't matter. What matters is what I saw, what I did. I worked at Area 51. For years, I was one of the guardians of humanity's deepest secrets. But these weren't secrets about crashed UFOs or reverse-engineered alien technology. No, that was the easy lie, the palatable fiction they fed the public to distract from the true horror. It was something far, far worse. It was the truth about our future, and the unimaginable price we've already paid for it. They sold Earth, our home, for eternal life, and I was there when the deal was sealed. I saw the signatures, the cold, calculating eyes of those who claim to lead us, sacrificing billions for their own selfish immortality. This isn't a theory. This is a confession and a warning. They say ignorance is bliss. I wish I could go back to that blissful ignorance, to believe the fairy tales of benevolent aliens or simple military experiments. But once you see behind the curtain, once you witness the true nature of power and the depths of human depravity, there's no going back. The truth is a burden, a heavy, suffocating weight that I can no longer carry alone. This is my attempt to shed that weight, to scream into the void, hoping someone, anyone, will listen before it's too late. This isn't a story of heroes and villains in the traditional sense. It's a story of survival, of betrayal on a cosmic scale, and of a choice made by a few that condemns us all. A choice that has been unfolding for decades, hidden in plain sight, orchestrated from the very heart of the most secretive place on Earth. Area 51. The name itself conjures images of mystery, but the reality is far more sinister than any conspiracy theory you've ever heard. It's not just about what they hide from us. It's about what they hide for them, and what they're willing to sacrifice. Area 51 isn't what you think. It's not just a military base. It's a prison and a laboratory, but not for us, for them. A race, almost extinct. They arrived here millennia ago, not in a blaze of glory, but in desperation. Hidden, weakened by a dying star, their civilization crumbling. Too few to invade, too advanced to be ignored. They were the last of their kind, trapped on a dying planet, seeking refuge. But they possessed something that Earth's elite desired more than anything: the key to immortality. A technology that promised to transcend death itself, to grant eternal life to those deemed worthy. And that promise, that seductive whisper of forever, corrupted everything. The governments, the elites, the ones you call the Illuminati, the globalists, the shadow cabal. They knew, they always knew, and they made a deal, a Faustian bargain that sealed our fate. Technology for eternal life, reserved exclusively for the most powerful, the most influential, the most ruthless among us. In exchange, for Earth, our vibrant, living planet, the very cradle of humanity, just the elite would receive immortality. The rest of us? Disposable, a resource to be consumed, or simply removed. I saw the documents, the clauses, the cold, calculated signatures, the chilling indifference in the eyes of our so-called leaders as they signed away our collective future for their individual endless present. It was a transaction, a cosmic real estate deal, and humanity was the collateral damage. The global disasters, the pandemics, the wars, the accelerating climate change. Do you truly believe these are accidents, coincidences, random acts of nature or human folly? No, they are part of the plan. The Earth is being prepared, cleansed, for its new inhabitants. The aliens, fragile as they are, require a specific environment, a pristine world, free from the chaotic footprint of billions of humans. And humanity, in its vast, messy majority, is an obstacle, a noise, a nuisance. Area 51 wasn't just guarding the aliens. It was coordinating the execution of this macabre plan. Every catastrophe, every crisis, every seemingly random act of terror was a calculated step to make the planet more hospitable for them and less for us. We are living through a controlled demolition, not of buildings, but of our civilization, our population, our very right to exist. They called it Project Eden, a cynical, twisted name for a plan that would turn our world into their sanctuary. The elites, blinded by the promise of endless life, convinced themselves they were saving humanity, or at least the best of it. They rationalized the suffering, the chaos, the billions of lives deemed expendable. They saw us, the common people, as nothing more than a temporary inconvenience, a biological waste product to be cleared before the true owners moved in. The aliens, in their ancient wisdom, understood the human thirst for power and immortality better than we did ourselves. They didn't need to conquer. They simply offered a deal too tempting for our corrupt leaders to refuse. A deal that traded our collective future for their individual eternal present. And the irony? The very technology that promised to save them from extinction would lead to ours. A perfect, silent genocide orchestrated by our own hands. I was a scientist, an engineer. I believed I was working for national security, pushing the boundaries of human knowledge. I designed the containment systems, the energy grids, the environmental controls for the deepest levels of Area 51. I was proud of my work, oblivious to the true purpose, until I started connecting the dots, the patterns, the reports that didn't make sense, the whispered conversations about resource management and planetary terraforming. I saw the immortality technology being tested, not on animals, not on willing volunteers, on human subjects, prisoners, people who simply vanished from the system. Their fear, their hope, their eventual blank stares as their bodies were perfected. Their minds slowly erased, replaced by a serene, empty vessel. It was horrifying. And then I saw them, the aliens, not the terrifying invaders of fiction, but frail, almost ethereal beings. Their skin, pale and translucent, their eyes, ancient and filled with a cold, calculating intelligence. They moved with a grace that belied their physical weakness, their minds a labyrinth of logic and indifference. They weren't monsters in appearance, but their presence radiated an absolute, chilling superiority. They were the architects of our demise, guiding our leaders with promises of godhood. The realization hit me like a physical blow. Everything I believed, everything I worked for, was a lie. I was an accomplice to the greatest betrayal in human history. I had to escape. I had to tell the truth. But they are everywhere. They control everything. And I am a target, a loose end in their meticulously woven tapestry of deceit. The escape was a blur of adrenaline and terror. Every shadow seemed to hold a guard, every corner a trap. I knew the blueprints, the hidden passages, the blind spots in their surveillance. But they knew me too. They knew my patterns, my habits, my fears. I barely made it out, carrying nothing but the truth and the crushing weight of my complicity. I left behind a life, a career, a false sense of purpose. I emerged into a world already reeling from the natural disasters, the unforeseen pandemics, the unavoidable conflicts. A world being systematically dismantled piece by agonizing piece for its new immortal landlords. And I knew with chilling certainty that my time was limited. They would come for me. They always do. They are coming. Or rather, they are already here. The transition is underway. There is nowhere left to run, nowhere left to hide. Their eternal life means the end of ours. Wake up. Look around you. The signs are everywhere. The disasters won't stop. They will only escalate. Each earthquake, each flood, each new strain of disease is a deliberate act, a terraforming, a cleansing, until Earth is ready for its new masters, and we will be nothing more than a forgotten memory, if we are remembered at all. The very air we breathe, the water we drink, the ground beneath our feet, it's all being subtly altered, made inhospitable for us, perfect for them. They don't need to invade with warships. They are invading our very ecosystem, our very existence, from the inside out. And the elites, those who made the deal, they are already preparing their bunkers, their private sanctuaries, their vessels for a new, endless dawn, leaving the rest of us to face the twilight. Do you see it now? The patterns are undeniable. The carefully orchestrated chaos, the division, the fear, the constant distraction. It's all designed to keep us from uniting, from seeing the larger picture. They want us weak, confused, and compliant. Because a unified humanity, a humanity that understands the true threat, is a humanity that might just fight back. But time is running out. The final phase is upon us. The planet is almost ready for its new inhabitants, and the last vestiges of our civilization are crumbling under the weight of their silent invasion. The promise of immortality was a lie, a gilded cage for a few, built upon the ashes of billions. And I, a former guardian of their secrets, am now a voice in the wilderness, screaming against the inevitable. This is my truth. What will you do with it? Will you believe, or will you continue to sleep, lulled by the false promises of a dying world? Share this video. Awaken the others. Perhaps, just perhaps, there is still a chance. A flicker of hope in the encroaching darkness. But time is running out. Fast. The clock is ticking, not just for me, but for every single one of us. We are not just fighting for our lives. We are fighting for our very right to exist, for the soul of humanity itself. Don't let them erase us. Don't let them win. Because if they do, eternal life will be a curse, not a blessing. For the few who remain, haunted by the ghosts of a world they so carelessly discarded. This is not just a conspiracy. It's our reality, and it's time to face it. What will you do? Will you fight for humanity, or accept the fate they've chosen for us? Leave your theory in the comments. If you believe the truth is out there, subscribe to the channel and hit the bell for more forbidden accounts. The truth, it's waiting for you. Stay vigilant. Stay human. The future of Earth depends on it. Thank you for listening. The fight begins now. One day, the stars will witness our defiance. Until then, we are the only guardians of our own existence. Don't let the light fade. Not today. Not ever. The silence of the universe is not an absence of life, but a warning of what happens when we lose our way. We are the architects of our own salvation or our own extinction. The choice, as always, is ours. Even now, in the 11th hour, there is a path, a way to reclaim what was sold. But it requires courage. It requires unity. It requires the truth. And now you have it. What you do with it will define the legacy of our species. The end is not the end. It's a new beginning. If we dare to make it so, stay strong, stay brave, stay human. The shadows are long, but the dawn is coming. For those who are willing to see it, goodbye for now. But remember, I'm still watching. We all are.